many different ways. I mean, you could initially just talk about, like, in terms of what you said, understanding who you are, trying to get
welcome to
Hey.
Social Work DC. Like this. Okay.
Yeah.
But welcome to Social Work Sunday Tea. I am Shakia Houston. It's a great day to be alive. It is March 26th, 2023. Look, we are live and in color. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know if you're here. Do a thumbs up, do a heart, do a like. Just put in the comment section, I'm here, something. Let us know we not by ourselves, right? So I want to say thank you for tuning in. We have a special guest. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Miss Jones, it's greatly appreciated.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Shakia. I am Myisha Jones. I am the owner of Myisha Marie's Counseling and Consulting. I'm a social worker and I am here.
Absolutely. Look, it's Social Work Month. Happy Social Work Month.
Thank
Social Work
you.
Month to all the social workers. Look, you guys are amazing, great people, like all the way around. So what made you get into social work? Like what is the dynamics today?
The dynamics to that, I always say this, like, I did not choose to be a social worker. I didn't set out intentionally and like, I'll be a social worker. I feel like this profession chose me. I have like some personal, just like I was the oldest of my mom's children. I always wanted to help people, but I didn't know that I was going to be helping people in the capacity that I've been helping people. So I didn't choose to be a social worker. It chose me. So I'm here. I'm gonna embrace it and just do it, So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a social worker for a psychiatric facility. So I
Okay.
did that for 8 years. And then I just went to full time being a therapist. So it's like, okay. But yeah, I love my psych patients. Kudos to all the social workers.
Yeah,
Like,
psych is hard too. I did psych when I was in grad school, and that I was really dedicated to that work. But it's hard. I think social work period is hard. So
it is, especially, I it overall is hard, right? But I think like when you deal with psych, I mean just dealing with people in general, right?
yeah,
But psych
yeah,
is a different type of level of.
yeah. Pretty intense. It's really intense.
It
Yeah.
is, and you really try to rehabilitate the person and, get them back on their baseline and track and all that stuff. And sometimes it'd be like
It's
the book
hard.
don't
It's
even work.
in
It'd be
place.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all about the human connection. And, just having these degrees and all these things, it's all about like I said, the human connection and also how can you connect with a human connection, right?
yeah.
And I think people they're like, oh, social workers, they don't do nothing. And now some social workers that don't, but that I ain't gonna say
I
nothing.
know what I do. I know I work very,
Yeah,
very hard.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
really speak to them, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is rewarding, but it can be hard sometimes. And sometimes you just gotta like, okay, I need me time today. This is my Isha day today. So yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So today's topic is parenting struggles. And
Yes.
when we think about that, it's just like 2023, the 2000s, the 20s, and
Yes. It's
it's what is your, like, as far as parenting struggles? Because I put in a post on Facebook. I was like, oh, these kids. Now, mind you, I only got one, but if
Yeah.
we don't include the dog, he can be included too.
Yeah, because he's a pet baby as well. Parenting struggles today, I think they have changed like over the years and they get more intense, or we've changing. Like after the pandemic, I've been hearing just a lot more of the parents talking or expressing their struggles, like how can I manage their mental health along with my mental health. I think that has been like in the forefront of our practice since we've been, out of the pandemic. But yeah, it's a lot. It's gonna be a
So what
lot.
are some of the parents? What are they saying?
They're
Like as far as
saying, I'm hearing it's social media. The
yeah,
social media is so prevalent in today's society. Like I'm on social media. Is my daughter's on social media, and I think it's making us not really being able to connect with one another. Everything is
yeah,
so fast and so there, and it's just in your phone, and everybody has phones. So I hear a lot of struggles about managing those connections with social media, managing the child with just a child. We were, when I was younger, we didn't have social media and we were still doing our thing, but now it's so much information just flowing out there, and it's kind of affecting the kids in different ways.
yeah,
So mom and dads and caregivers are trying to manage that along with their own struggles. So it's just like, okay, let's take a break, let's do a
yeah,
social media break. I always kind of like suggest that in a way when some of my families are kind of struggling with that. Even me and my daughter, like I feel like we are kind of rumbling that week. Let's take a break from social media. Let's just woosah, just
yeah.
us, and kind of connect and create that baseline for us socially. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I can appreciate. Okay, so I'm 37. I'm an 80s baby. We 80s babies.
I'm 36. I'll be 37 in August. So
Oh,
we
August what?
yeah, August 20th. Are you a Leo?
Yes.
You a Leo? Oh my gosh. Okay. August
See, I
20th.
knew
I'm
it.
like right at the end of the Leos. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Leo power all day. See, I
Yeah.
knew it. I'm
I
like,
knew it was something. I reached out to me. I was like, she got this purple. I wonder if, but I didn't know. But yeah, I'm a Leo at heart.
yes.
Like for
So
real.
okay, so you already know, you already
Yeah.
know what it come through, right? So
Yes.
like when it comes to like I think like I really, really thank God that we weren't born in this time. Not saying this era is horrible, but
Yeah.
we really didn't have to worry about those type of, as far
Factor.
as a
Yeah.
child, right? We can
Yeah.
actually be children,
Yeah.
and not go against the grain and not, we were kids.
We
You
were
play
kids.
outside,
I
yeah,
remember
double
like
dutch.
working. I remember playing outside. I remember having my little summer job. I remember the little giga pads. That was the
Oh
only
yes,
little social media little trinket that I had.
yes,
I remember, and I would tell my daughter, I was like, I did this, and she was like, back in the day. I'm like, it's not that old now. Like,
hold on now.
but it's just like,
Yeah,
we were really like kids, and I don't think I appreciated it
yeah,
then. But now,
yeah,
just being a parent, I'm just like, it changed so fast. I was just like, what is this today?
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I feel bad, like for our children, they can't get they don't have the opportunity to go outside and play double dutch, hide and go see, ding dong ditch.
yeah,
Like what I'm saying. You can't do that anymore, and that was so much fun. My daddy used to lock the front door. You can't come. You come in the house, you stay in the house, and I'd be like, no.
my dad would do that too. My dad was
Yeah,
like, after dinner, we would go outside, and he would make y'all cannot come back in the house until the street lights came on. Like that was my day. And we stayed outside. Like you didn't have to tell
Yes.
me. I was always like figure it
Yeah.
out or things like that. But
Yeah.
I remember Double Dutch, and I don't think Ivy know how to jump rope. My daughter, I'm just like, come on, like, and she just like this is
No.
old people stuff, and I'm
Let
just
me
like,
get on the phone.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Social media has kind of like trained our like condition our children like to just and as adults we straight go to social media. We roll over, we on our phone.
yeah.
We wake up in the middle of the morning. After I say, "My Lord, thank you for another day," I roll over
Yes.
and I get on my phone.
Likewise, likewise,
And I was just like,
likewise.
man. And
And
so,
you have to like intentionally break that. And feel like when I intentionally have like my social media break, like I feel the difference when I don't have like I'm not really attached to it. When I am, I'm just like foggy away. I'm just kind
yeah,
of just going with the flow. But when I take that break, I'm like, oh, I'm more mindful. I'm more here. Like I'm connecting. So
yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah. Social media, that is a most common, like as far as like we're struggling with our children because they want to do what's on social media. Like, I
yeah,
want to do this, I want to do that. And so it's kind of like a struggle. And then it's like, well, such and such said, or the housewives or Atlanta, they did this or they did that. Like I
yeah,
have no idea who are anybody on any type because I don't watch TV. Like
yeah,
it's nothing pertaining. Like I just I can't do it, right?
yeah,
And so like when my daughter tells me certain things, I was like, who is that? You
yeah.
know? Like I don't even know who the rappers are. Lil Bootsy, I know Lil Bootsy now. I love Bootsy.
He's so lit.
Like Lil Baby, Lil Dirt, Lil
All
YY.
of them. And it's so many, and I can't keep up now. Like
Yeah,
I'm not that old, but I can only keep so much in
yeah,
my so yeah.
yeah, yeah. What do you think that parents struggle with the most with their children?
Um, I think it's that part, the social media and just trying to parent with something else that's influencing the kids in a
Yeah,
way. Um, I think we know our kid, and sometimes we may not feel like we know our kid, but I think the social media is another parent or another child, excuse me, that we're trying to like fight against in a way to try to control in a way to like, come on, let's just connect and yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'll say I'm gonna be transparent. Like with my daughter, she thinks she knows everything, right?
yeah,
I'm like, okay, it's nothing new under the sun, and it's kind of funny because it reminds me of how my mom was like, or my mom and my parents, they be like, well, I did that before, and and I'm like, well,
yeah,
you can't tell me, and so now it's kind of like the same thing, like oh my God, you're not listening. I just want you to listen. And
yeah,
another thing, like as far as for me for struggling is parenting struggle is like communicating. Like I'm communicating with her a lot, but it's like she kind of like want to do what she want to do. And I'm just like, we finna
I
go to war.
kind of giving them grace. Like, were you listening at 13, 14? Was
I
I
can't
listening?
remember.
Like
No, I'm just playing. No.
do you like was I listening? I think we always try to like compare like what we did as
Yeah.
children with our kids,
Hmm.
and it's just like you kind of got to allow them to kind of mess up in a way, but you want to still kind of keep them like,
Yeah.
come on, like, what are you doing? But like,
Yeah.
okay, you gonna have to probably learn the hard way in a way, in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But not listening, I think it's just like I just reflect like, was I not listening when I was younger? Or I think it's like I don't know, like is there you gotta I don't know how to say it. Just
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like it's their way. And it's like you said, we extend grace, right? We like, okay, all right, you're gonna keep bumping your head. I'm just gonna let you bust it to the white meat right now. Cause
Yeah.
I'm like tired of talking about that. And I think a lot of parents, they're tired. They're
Yeah.
tired of having the same conversations
It's
over
over.
and over and over again. And I understand how like the community is like it takes a village to raise a
Yeah,
child. It
it does.
really, really does. And if you don't have that village and you're on your own, it is a struggle.
It
And
is.
you still try to your work and life balance, right? You try to be there to
Yeah.
provide that sense of security and comfort to
Yeah.
your child. But it's like, okay, do I work or do I, focus homely, solely on my child? But I gotta work so I can be able to provide. So that's a struggle within itself,
Yeah.
on an everyday basis. But it's like, okay, I even like I'm providing for my child. And okay, I would like all I'm asking you to do, get good grades, stay out of
It's
trouble,
trouble.
listen, take out the garbage. Like I'm not asking for a lot, but in her mind, it's
It's
just
a
like
lot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, it's not that bad. Yeah. Oh, someone said my favorite, um, my kid's favorite line is, "Mom, you wouldn't you wouldn't get it."
I've heard
Yes.
it before too.
What
I've heard
is that?
it
Like,
before.
what am I not getting? I'm like, that was a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah. Mom, you wouldn't get it. You don't understand. I was just like,
I do understand. I don't think you're understanding.
absolutely.
Just and I kind of rebuttal that back to Ivy. I just probably be like, okay, whatever. But to your point, I think the support is important too. Like having not just you, if we are doing it alone, having those connections or those natural supports, grandma, family, other family members to kind of reinforce the messages that we are trying to teach them. Because I think they look at us like, okay, she's doing her parenting thing, her mom thing, but if grandma's saying it and the teacher's saying it and coach saying it, okay, maybe it's gonna start shaping, like they're developing their decisions. Like, I'm not just saying this to just say it. Like I'm trying to, this is important. So I think
Yeah,
the connections and having the support is equally important too. So yeah,
yeah, definitely. Cause woo,
yeah, yeah.
because you know what?
The village.
It does, because like
Yeah.
we may convey certain things to them one way, and but if they hear from someone else, then they're like, oh, I get it. I'll be like,
Yeah. I said that. I was telling you that the other day when you were, yeah, and she'd be like, well, because I think they just see us, okay, you're a mom, so you
yeah,
doing your mom thing or your dad thing. And I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
well, all right,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Someone said, honestly, a lot of us don't have the support, the village. What do you do?
You might not have like the direct support, but I think I would say like look deeper for your supports, like the teachers, the school staff, the
Mhm.
coaches. There's some support. Even like your friends may still be there to support you. Other parents,
Yeah,
in close by you. That's support.
yeah,
I don't know if you could have like neighbors. That could be some supports for you too.
yeah.
You're
It got to
just
be
like,
the right people. It
yeah,
got to be right, yeah, the right people, and because to take to today's society,
yeah, yeah.
no, today's society, people have different parenting styles, right? And that plays a part too, because we have to be careful with that, because one parent may won't allow their teen or their children to do certain things that you wouldn't even allow, like can't even think of. And so, but yeah, like, finding people that are like-minded,
For
that
sure.
yeah, like if your child is like on a basketball team, find all the basketball mommies,
Yeah.
find all the football mommies, or help out as far as like with student council at the school, and creating this thing, and building a bond, and
Mhm.
a lot of parents, they get shameful or prideful, oh, not my child, I don't want nobody to know my child does this or that. Like, you're not the only one, and if you don't speak up, then people won't be able to help you or support you, or you might be talking and somebody been through that already with their child, like, hey, you need
Exactly.
to do this, and I think that because a lot of people, they want to sweep everything under the rug and not say anything, um then people won't know, and everybody be in darkness, like, okay, and they trying to figure it out on their own.
And
versus
that
that's
could
why we
be,
have these.
and that could be troublesome too. I would always say like support, get some, get like ask for help. It's okay to
Yeah,
ask for help.
yeah.
You'll be surprised who's going through something similar that could provide some help for you.
Yeah, and discern if the person that you're
Yeah,
confiding to, that
yeah,
that is a safe space too. Because like you can think you confiding in somebody and telling them, okay, my child is doing XYZ, and then you turn around, everybody know, and I think that's another reason why parents they don't want to say anything or don't want to talk about some of the struggles that they have with their children, and which is a sad thing, but at the same time, um we have to create those spaces. That's why I have this platform. We can talk about this because it is stressful being a parent, and I'm a single parent, and doing everything on my own is like, I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
I feel like it's 1,000 kids and it's only
yeah.
one. It's like, oh my Lord, have mercy. I don't see if I had two or three. And I count the dog, but that's no meanness. It's just it's stressful. And
Yeah,
as a
it can
parent,
be stressful.
you
It can
know,
be,
yeah, and we have to make sure that our mental health is together because some stuff we're not going to understand with our children.
yeah,
I'm gonna call it a book. Some stuff we not gonna understand. We like because we're in the era where we didn't have a lot of things that they're going through right now.
yeah.
Bullying, even though we dealt with bullying, but not on this
It's a
scale.
different level.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why would they say that? Or why?
Mhm.
That's so mean. And she would look at me like, Mom, that's just, I'm like, that's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like bullying, the social media part, and there's the things that they're going through or faced with are totally different than what we went through. So making sure that she's supported and around who she needs to be around, I think that's kind of my take on it. Like I'm her mother, and she has a father, but she may not get all of her, like I'm a core part of her, but she might not be able to get everything she need from me. So I'm making sure that I'm surrounding her with a
Yeah.
mentor or some other, like-minded families and a sitter and things like that as we,
Yeah.
navigate this. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think more so, I think as parents, we need to be more consistent with our kids. Like, don't deviate from what you said,
Yeah.
being more consistent, allow them grace to be able to, mess up or think on their own, and also help them um create like problem solving skills, like my daughter think that I'm the Uber queen, and I'm just like, growing up, and it's a different time and day or whatever, and I want my child to be safe, but back then, I'm in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, we get
I
on the
caught the
bus.
bus. I caught the bus, and that taught me navigation skills, north, south, east, west,
Right.
time management, all of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think yeah, and I was just like, listen, figure it out, and I hung up.
yeah,
Maybe I was cold blooded, but I just think that I want her to know because I'm not gonna always be around, right? And
yeah,
I need her to understand, like, hey, this is what this is, this is what that is. Okay, when you feel that little rumble in your stomach, that means get away. It ain't
yeah,
something right.
today,
Right,
yeah,
exactly. And it's a struggle. Like this parenting thing is no handbook, no
yeah,
handbook, because our mom and them, and mom and them,
yeah.
our mom and them, and our grandparents, they're just going off of what they know,
You
right?
knew as
What's being
well.
passed down, and some of the things that they thought was healthy wasn't really healthy,
Yeah,
um and I think we adopted some of those things, and we have to unlearn some of the things that we
we're
were
kind
taught. Yeah.
of.
Yeah, definitely. Someone said for some of us growing up, we strived, we didn't have the parents we strive to be. So I recently had to grow through a situation so that I can find a different avenues to address it. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. What do you think about that? I think that's That's healthy.
I think that could kind of speak to, because what we went through is different than what they're going through. So we going off of our experience, but we might have to do something different
Yeah.
for our children, or
Right.
adopt a different mind frame for our children, because it's just different today. So I
Yeah.
can agree to that.
Yeah. Especially, especially because I don't know if it's a he or she because there's no picture on there, but they, as far as like you're trying, and sometimes in childhood, as far as like your expectations of how you thought your parent should be, now you're striving to be, to be better, right, and to give the things that you didn't have. And sometimes we compensate for what we didn't have
Yeah.
and things like that. So yes, we definitely, I agree, work through it, and we're growing with our kids, you know
Yeah.
we're growing up with our kids, and I I really feel that it's like I'm adapting and addressing in things in different ways. And also, growing up, they really didn't apologize, so
Yeah.
now I apologize to my child, like, hey, my bad, I'm sorry, I'd be like, all right, we cool, you know what I'm saying? Because I because more so it's more like a dictatorship. You do as I say, that's it,
Day.
that's all, but it's a different generation. They want to hear, and the emotional side, the mental health side, because it does affects them in adulthood. Like I was telling you about, like at adverse childhood experiences, our experiences kind of in childhood, it shapes
Who
adulthood.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who we are in our adult life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we continue to have that cycle of struggles as parents, because sometimes we cycle what we did, because like it's a learned behavior. What we did as parents, our parents did with us, and now now we're emotionally intelligent enough, like, okay, I can't do it the same way because this is a different type of child.
Different, it's different today, and then what you may have liked what your mom or your dad did, that worked then, but you probably applied that now and you see, okay, this not working now, so I
Mhm.
have to change up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just have a lot of different factors playing a part with us, so we do need to be kind of flexible and with our children a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. And like we said, extend grace and not put so much, I feel
And
like,
grace on yourself too. Grace on us as parents
yeah,
too. We're not a handbook, and we are not perfect. Just
yeah,
like our older generations, they were learning too. We're learning too. So extend grace to yourself too. I think it starts. It should start there. You're not gonna be a perfect parent. You know your child. You know what they need, but extend yourself grace as well.
yeah,
So
yeah. I have two kids, 23 years apart. I parent my son who's 6, totally different than I parent by
yeah,
a
I can
29-year-old.
imagine. I can only
What is
imagine.
that like? Woo! 20
Yeah.
23 years apart.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I
Oh.
can only imagine.
Phew. I don't know if I would be coming or going.
Yeah.
It's totally if you can tell us how different it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine, because like even now, like my sister, she just freshly had a fresh baby,
Yeah.
my niece, and oh, hey, like, yeah, hey, like, yeah. Girl, yes, it's a totally different ball game. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think X is busy. Yes, yes,
Was on
yes.
different.
Yes, yes. It's a different ball game. It's like, okay, and okay, our patience level. I know in my 20s,
Was
my patience,
different. Different now.
oh
Different
my
then
God.
than it is now. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I already understand. Like, I when I hit a certain, and when I hit my 30-ish, like going forward, I was like, I don't have any patience. I don't even want to be bothered. In the 20s, we got a lot of patience, but now, oh my Lord Jesus, and I'd be looking like, so you're done, or
Yeah. I think one of my struggles is like parenting an only child and a girl only child. I think that's a real thing for me. That's a struggle for me.
yeah,
Um, So I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like me, I should have had like other children to give her something like else, but I'm just like, this day and time, no other children. Daycare is high, food is high.
Yeah.
We can't afford to have children like, they other generations were like having children. But I think that's a struggle. Like parenting a one child, this only child syndrome thing is a real thing.
Yes, it
So
is.
I always try to reach out for support in my little circles. Like, what is going on? Is this right? Or like what? So
Yeah,
and she
definitely.
said that she mentioned that comment like her children have this big age gap. What about like those parents that just got one,
Yeah.
how do
Yeah.
they manage and things like that? Because
My,
she had her oldest son probably for a long time too. So
yeah.
before she had her other child.
Right. This okay, like what I did that too. I'm an only child. My daughter was the only child for all those years. I wish I had
Yeah.
more. I had more. If you can afford to have more than one, do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about my patients? I don't think oh
You say this is gone.
yeah. Oh, do it while they are young. Yeah, I agree with that too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like my nieces, well, my niece and my nephews. My sister have a 2 year old, a 1 year old, and a 2 week year old. A week old. Yeah, it's like back to back. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's how my mom did it.
Yeah.
I commend her.
But
Yeah.
not oh.
Oh, those are my current thoughts, but we just gonna have to deal with the deal because I ain't having no more. Listen, it's a
It's a real thing.
yeah.
It's
What is
a serious thing.
yeah? So my question: what do you think is the hardest years of parenting? Anybody can ask that. Like, what do you think is the hardest years of
Um,
parenting?
I think I would hear teenager years are the hardest. 13 to 18 are the hardest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it could vary because you know what, you
I
got
don't
some 20 year
know.
olds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just yeah. I think it all depends, but I think really
What you think? What you think?
I think it's teenage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're challenging everything. They trying to come into their own, their rebellion a little bit. When they like 5 and 6, they just kind of just do, whatever. And now at a teenage, like as she is a teenager, she's just trying to develop her own sense of
Yeah.
herself. Look at life in her own little eyes. So we're kind of guiding them, but it's still just like,
Mm.
look at here,
Listen, I was like, I'm about to smoke a cigarette. Wait. I don't know who this is. Oh, I think this is my mom. I have 3 daughters. I'm the reason for this podcast. I don't know if that's my mom or not. But struggle is real. A house full of
Girl.
teens and teens.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
teens, yeah. With X is all the time, but it was a little harder as he grows because I'm raising a young black king. However, the world is not a good place. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah, like I don't see how my mother did it with 3 girls. Like I don't see because I mean I'm not gonna say I was the best child ever. I don't know. And the plus I'm the middle child too, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is different raising boys. I see a lot of women, like moms, right? And dads when they're raising their boys, like, yeah, he doesn't give me trouble. And I was like, he don't,
Yeah.
I'm just like in my head, I was like, I love my daughter, Chelsea. I love her, Chelsea Moo. I love her. I'm like, look what if you would have gave me a boy. But I
Yeah.
think it is different. I think they're more cool and laid back. Okay, my sister said it's easier with boys. I can imagine.
I think they could both like have challenges. A lot of people like boys are easy, girls are easier. I think a boy could have its challenges. Raising a boy, a king can have his challenges, and raising a girl can have its challenges.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say that people are like, it's you got a girl. I'm just like, I didn't give me that many issues, but like I don't know how
Yeah.
I would. I don't know. I think they could both have its challenges. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Kristen was chill. X question everything and think he knows everything. I tell him he needs to be an attorney. Absolutely. Yes, 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 yes,
yeah,
yes. But parenting, it's a struggle every day. Like,
yes,
and I think more so the more we kind of like as parents develop our endurance, because it's not a
yeah,
race, it's a marathon. And I say that with all my
yeah,
clients. Well, hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's not a race. We're learning as we go along. We're growing with them and we know I think you need to I think parents should study their children. You know what they do, what they don't do. I think getting in tune with their children um is the most important thing. Oh, well, question, has anyone tried gentle parenting?
I've tried it. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I don't know.
What is
This
let me look up gentle parenting.
go ahead.
Let me look it up. I'm about to look it up. Gentle, because I don't know. You know what? And okay. Okay. An idea behind gentle parenting is to approach kids with respect and empathy, to offer choices rather than make demands, to give space to
Yeah.
the child's feelings and emotions, and avoid losing your cool in frustrating situation.
I think you've probably attempted it in some way
I
with
have.
your child.
Yes, Chelsea has. I have, and I was speaking in a soft tone, and like, I think that you should, if you do this, this makes mommy mad right now, like it really does. And then it's kind of like she does it again, and it's like, Chelsea, what did I ask you to do? You know what I'm saying? Then I start getting like that,
The other, yeah.
and then it's like, but when I go to the third tier, that's when she hears me, and I was just like, what am I doing wrong? And then it annoys her because if I'm a tier one, okay, Chelsea, look, we have to do this and da da da. Da. Okay, all right, I understand your feelings. Da da da. Like I just feel like it's too. I feel like it's too much for me. The gentle parenting for me,
It's
it's a lot. It's a lot.
exhausting.
It's taking a lot out of me because it's like I want to go to like 1,000 already, but it's like, okay, let me hear her out. And I do take in consideration her thoughts and her feelings, right?
Yeah,
Because she is a little human being, right?
yeah,
And she does have an opinion. And back in my house, we really didn't have an opinion. So
yeah,
I extend,
yeah,
okay, put a little there.
yeah.
But I think when she gets me to the third tier, it's just like, okay, now I'm gonna have to be demanding. This
Yeah.
is what I said, and this is how I said it. Because the first two times you wasn't feeling me, you weren't rocking with me. So I'm gonna have to give you what you want. I think that's
Yeah.
what you want. And it's gonna have more consequences for that because like I tried it. I tried to be cool, calm, and collected, but I be going off into the
That's
edge.
so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It,
go into to 8 feet and no life jacket. And I'm there. And I'm
yeah.
there for a couple of days too. And she be looking at me like, you okay? You okay? Because I just feel like
Mhm.
sometimes you just be mad. I said, no, it's your behavior. I said,
Yeah.
I'll be cool if you just do what I ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my struggle. I'm being transparent. I ain't gonna lie about it. Because Chelsea,
Before I've tried it. It's sometimes you can use it in certain areas, and sometimes it's just like no.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
and then if they're a little sensitive in a certain area, you could try to use that. But I think it's a newer term that's kind of coming into play. Um, More empathetic for our children, not so demanding. When we were
yeah,
growing up, it was you do as I say, not like it was more that. Now it's like, but I think this kind of goes to the point like we're changing.
yeah,
Things are changing, so we have to adapt like
yeah,
new things with today's children as we are, going through this.
yeah.
So
Yeah, even with parenting, I just think that you should set boundaries for your kids too.
Yeah.
Like I got to. Like I told Chelsea,
You have
like
to. You
I
have to.
am I am not an ATM. Like I ain't gonna tell you what I said online, but what I said to her, she was like,
You
I was like,
have
I am not an
to.
ATM. Like you're not my pimp. That's what I
Yeah.
told her. I said, you're not my pimp, right? You're not that. Like you're not that. Like I just don't like how you interacting with me right now. Like I don't like that. Like every 2 days you need money. Like I I don't understand that. Like I
Yeah,
just can't
these
get
are
that. And
important.
she was looking at me like, "Well, are you still gonna do it?" I'm like, "No, suffer
No,
these children."
she's gonna have to work for it. I have IVs for it. And some papers need to be shredded or something. Like what? Like what? How are you gonna? You
Yeah.
just need to just fork out money. That's not how it worked. I had a job at 14,
Mm,
15. So we gotta get your little skills, your life skills up in a way. Then I started talking like that. She's like, oh my gosh. But she'll do it. She'll learn. And then that makes her feel like, okay, I'm working for this, or like I'm contributing so I could get this and not just that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got a question. Do
Sure.
you okay, so do y'all think that these kids are too sensitive and when they're faced with adversities, they don't know how to respond?
Yeah, I, yeah, a little bit.
You know, you think they are part of cancel culture because they I don't know. No, man, no. Like I think they are. I think they are. I think they are sensitive. I think because society is kind of like I don't know. I don't know.
I think they're sensitive, but I don't want to like take sensitive as a bad thing. I
Right.
think we just changed as people after the pandemic. Even before the pandemic, people change. People are not going to stay the same.
Right. Right.
Um, when it comes to adversity, how they deal with stress and cope with stress and changes and things, I think is much different than I know Ivy gets a little stressed out than what I would get stressed out with.
Mhm,
If
mhm.
if that would have happened to me, I know what I did, and if that happened to her, I could totally see her kind of really not taking it well or trying to cope with it in some ways. But um, yeah, I don't know like what causes that or why that is. It could be our parenting and it could be the phones and the social media again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it might not be like a answer to that, but I think we just change. People change.
Yeah. And like you said, I don't think that being sensitive is weakness. You know what I mean? I think that I just having healthy conversations when you do face, as parents, we have to let them know like it's some vicious people. Now, you think I said worse.
Yeah.
Um wait till you get outside and
this
you really
this world and this balls come
yeah.
across you
Yeah.
and you want you to flip some burgers, it's
Mhm.
gonna be different. I just asked you to shred the papers, but wait, you
Yeah,
gotta go to work for real, your first job,
right.
so yeah.
Yeah, I really think that, and also, like as parents, and that I can't say it's always the kids, right? I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to flip it, play devil's advocate. Sometimes it's the parents,
Yeah.
that triggers um kids' behavior. I think, but we had a question real quick. We're gonna get to that, but I think it triggers people like the kids' behavior, how they conduct themselves, like if they're always angry. What's going on in the house? That's
For
that's
sure.
that's and that's a parent. Like as far as parenting, as parents, sometimes we got to keep ourselves in check. We got to check ourselves, like, ooh, did I respect my child? Did I really hear them out? Like seriously, because a lot of adults, older adults, my mama didn't listen to me,
Yeah.
or they weren't trying to hear what I had to say. And I think prime example, somebody inbox me like, oh, my child needs therapy. I said, okay, let me set you up. Woo, woo, right. And it was like, yeah, she doing this. And so I said, well, she been to other clients. She's seen other clinicians, things like that. And the clinician said that it's not the child, it's you. And so the parent got mad. So now she bouncing out to another
Therapist, another.
another
As a social worker working with children and working with families, I've often see that sometimes the child is doing this and mom and dad are saying like this is that, but I'm like, okay, I could, after having like my first assessment or first consultation with them, like I could kind of see like the family dynamic, like, okay, we're gonna need some support over here with mom to kind of explore like her ideas, her expectations, what's some realistic expectations for this child, and kind of go from there.
yeah,
But yeah, it's not always the child. It could is the parent. And people have their own, each individual have their own beliefs and ideas and values, and so yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I was like, "Well, what did the therapist say?" And it was like, "Oh, it like it's my fault she act that way." And da da da. I was just like, "Well, have you examined yourself? Let's do
Yeah.
some self reflecting." And she did not. She inboxed me back no more. She didn't say nothing, and I was like, "Hey, it's a reason why this child is being disrespectful. Okay, yeah, but it's a reason why they're doing the things that they do. It's because
Behaviors have reasons. They're not just doing this.
yeah,
Behaviors have some causes, some
yeah,
outcome, for
yeah,
sure.
and we have to be careful because these are humans too, and they're never gonna forget how you made them feel. I mean,
Right.
that's for anybody, but when you do it at a younger age, it definitely it keeps them. I, let me that example where you're a boy trapped in a grown man's body, right? Like when trauma happens at that age, whatever age it is that's in, it affects them, and it kind of like you still got that mentality as if when the trauma occurred, right? And a lot of grown people
Yeah.
are, adults that have children, they're behaving as children. And so that's all if they're seeing um there is a reflection of the parent. So if the adult is acting out in a childlike way, if there's wherever they're stuck in, then the child is gonna do the same thing. And then the parent like, well, my child, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, and I had a therapy session that occurred like that, and I even had the daughter there, and she was
Yeah.
like, "You do the same thing,"
Yeah.
and it was Cry Fest,
Yeah.
2023. And I can understand that. I was like, so you have to extend grace. You have to meet, mom where she is, and
Yeah.
you need to meet daughter where she is. And so we have to heal that, uproot what happened. And she went on to tell what happened. And the daughter was like, I didn't know. Right. And so parents, we have our own struggles and other things that we have to deal with. And it's like, it's stressful because we have to take on the things that we had in the past. If especially it's still healing from it. It's a ongoing thing. However, yeah, it's an ongoing thing, but we have to acknowledge and be accountable. Like, okay, I have this going on, and I'm not perfect, and I need to get me together so I can be a better parent to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, can I hear what happened? Oh, you
I'm
hear?
here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, oh,
It is. I think that's a
yeah.
great message, though. Just holding parents accountable, and they may and they may not. And children are people too. They're going to
Yeah,
be a little person as well. So I think that's a
yeah,
great point.
yeah, definitely. So we winding up. So do you have any last words? Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you,
Please
everybody,
don't-
for coming in. Do we have a question? I think we did.
Oh, you know what we did? Wait, let me stroll up because a whole bunch of questions. Uh, what age is appropriate for dating?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm scared to answer that one too. What does she think? Whoever asked that, what age does she think is appropriate and why? I don't know.
They said 16. I think 16 is good.
Okay.
15-ish going into 16.
I don't
But I
think
think you need to have that conversation with your child though. Like,
you know your child, you know their needs. I think you just know your child. You know what is dating too. That's a conversation that you can
yeah,
have with your child. What are we gonna be doing
yeah,
at dating? We're going out to the movies,
yeah,
the hands. What are we doing? Just having that open conversation with your child. But I just it depends. I think what I think may be okay may be different from what another parent may think is
yeah,
appropriate for a
yeah.
child. So
They say they should be group dating until 16, until they can be by themselves. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. I agree to that. I think so. Like, yeah, I'm just afraid of that because I was like, oh my God, when I was 15, 14, 15. First of all, 14, I was playing with X-Men still. And
I
then
was
15.
yeah, I was in the book. I was a nerd at 15. I wasn't even I,
I'm scared. First of all, because my mom didn't have that the sex conversation. She didn't have that, let alone, that's old school. They ain't talk about that. And
yeah,
so, and I'm looking around. So you go to school and they talking about sex. Yeah, sex, sex, sex. And I'm like, what
yeah.
is that? What y'all do? What
My dad was so strict. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, let me just go to school and do this project and
but I was curious because they didn't I didn't know I just didn't I just didn't know. Like, and I have those candid conversations with my daughter. I tell her about I be straight cutthroat. I can't tell you what I say online. I'm out
yeah.
offline what I tell her, but I give it to her straight, no chaser, like straight tequila. And she
Yeah.
be like, oh, that sounds so horrible. I said
But
it
and
is.
I want you to hear it from me, then you go out in the world and be totally
Right.
shocked.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about it,
Yeah.
but then just having the open conversation with our kids, with the
Yeah.
kids about, different little milestones within, whatever they're kind of faced with is important. Communication, communication, communication.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And just be honest, and then just creating that space again, right? So they can come and talk to you about certain things. Like, I know what's going on with my child, and without her even saying it, right? Her behavior's changed, and I'll be like, I'm just waiting on her to say something because
Okay,
I don't
right.
know,
It's a little
right?
hard.
And she's like, "Oh, mom, okay. Well, this is happening." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Oh, I knew
I
something was
knew what's going on. I knew
yeah,
it.
yeah. We need a part 2 for this topic. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do that
Yeah,
for
we're gonna
real.
have to do
Because I
that.
mean, it's parents, this is some type of this is support. This
Yeah.
is support right now. Um, yeah. So like
And the
this
topics
having
are probably it's so much that can go into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So social
definitely.
media, dating, bullying,
Yeah.
all that. So yeah.
So how can everybody find you?
I am on Instagram, Myisha Marie, underscore a lot of underscores, but I'm tagged on your page, so they can find me on your page. I'm also on Facebook, Myisha Jones, or my business page, Myisha Marie's Counseling and Consulting LLC. And yeah, maybe we can do the part two, and I come back and we can keep this conversation
Yes.
going.
Absolutely. Yes, we're gonna have we
Okay.
family now, so like,
Yeah.
yeah, cousin Myisha, what you doing this day? Yes,
I didn't
thank
know
you
you
so
were a
much.
Leo, so we already connected.
Already there.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm so honored. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in and listening in. And I really, really appreciate you. And listen, I just want everybody to know that I'm having an adult prom and fundraiser on September 30th. More details to come, but you do not want to miss it at all. I can't even tell all the details.
My planner, so I'll be looking out for more details.
Listen,
Yeah.
yes, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be really last year was nice, but
Yeah.
it was it was great last year. Like, I really didn't know what to expect, and then it came together. And I was like, look at God,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yes.
but this year I have so like I can't tell it all, but I have been blessed like tremendously,
Right.
tremendously.
Right.
Um I'm
Is that-
I'm in there like I'm 17 again. Yes,
Yeah.
come on, get your greens made. Come on. Tickets, early birds are on sale for $95. Make sure you get that in tune, and details are coming tomorrow about our location and all that good stuff. So yes, thank you so much, Myisha. I
Thank
really
you, Shakia, for having me. It was a pleasure. This was fun. So,
yes, yes,
thank you
yes,
for
yes.
having me.
All right, so I won't be on next week because I'm doing a vendor event. I'm selling tea,
Okay.
selling tea.
Okay.
So everything is on my page where I'm gonna be at. I'm doing Saturday and Sunday, so I
Okay.
won't be on the podcast this Sunday, and then the next Sunday I won't be on the podcast because it's Easter. I gotta put my church clothes on.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh. Put on my church clothes and go to church.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be in contact with everybody. Looking to
Okay.
keep looking out on Facebook, Instagram, all those good things. And Myisha,
Thank
thank you.
you.
I'm so
Thank
honored.
you. Thank
Yes.
you. Pleasure.
All right, you guys. See y'all next week.
See you
Well,
later.
until next time. All right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.